Good evening. I'm honored to accept the Spirit of Jan Karski Award from the Jan Karski Educational Foundation, and I sincerely thank David Harris, Executive Director of the American Jewish Committee, for presenting me with this award on behalf of the Foundation. I'd also like to thank the Foundation's Chairman, Andrzej Rojek, and the other board members for their leadership and tireless effort in promoting human rights and tolerance toward all people. Finally, I'd like to thank the Polish Foreign Ministry of Foreign Affairs for hosting this event. Since the Senate is in session, I'm deeply sorry I cannot be with you tonight for this important occasion. But I'd like to take this opportunity to speak with you about Jan Karski, an extraordinary man who risked his life to tell the world of the conditions in Nazi-occupied Poland during World War II and fought to end the atrocities perpetrated against the Jews. His story embodies the true spirit of courage and perseverance that is so necessary to the triumph of good over evil. As a member of the Polish Underground, one of the first and most significant resistance movements in occupied Europe, he was smuggled into the Warsaw Ghetto and visited a Nazi transit camp, repeatedly risking his life in order to provide a first-hand account of the horrors occurring there. He was detained and tortured by both the Soviets and the Nazis during World War II and narrowly escaped the Katyn Forest massacre. It is for these remarkable acts of bravery that I supported Karski's nomination for the Presidential Medal of Freedom and was honored to join with my colleagues in the Senate to pass a resolution commemorating the centennial of this great man last April. Sadly, Karski's testimony had minimal impact when the war was underway, and it is one of history's great tragedies that there were not more men like him. Yet even though his efforts may have failed to prod an Allied intervention when it could have mattered, his story must not be forgotten. Too often, the world has failed to prevent mass atrocities. Stories like Jan Karski's are a reminder of those atrocities that we did not stop and the lives we did not save. Let his legacy compel us to stand by our moral responsibilities and say with conviction, never again. Let it inspire us all to act with integrity when faced with prejudice and adversity, and always speak out against injustice and tyranny. My friends, this message is now more important than ever. Russia has invaded and dismembered a sovereign country in the heart of Europe, posing a threat to the peaceful international system that we and our European allies have endeavored to build since the Second World War. In Syria, Bashar al-Assad's regime continues its brutal assault against the Syrian people, with thousands of innocent men, women, and children slaughtered each day. ISIS has created a terrorist sanctuary much larger and richer than that of al-Qaeda, and their leadership has already expressed ambitions to attack the United States. Iran continues to develop nuclear and missile capabilities that directly threaten our nation, while terrorist groups loyal to Iran proliferate across the region and threaten our allies. This is the price we have paid for choosing silence and remaining disengaged when decisive action could have made a difference. The horrors of the last century unfolded because good people too often failed to stand by their values and recognize what was at stake for them in the suffering of others. Shame on all of us if we let history repeat itself and we neglect our duty to support the courageous people around the world who are struggling and dying for the values of rule of law and human rights. This is the lesson we must learn from Karski's legacy. If Europeans and Americans and the civilized world do not recall that lesson now and do no more to help those in the hour of their greatest need, the darkness in our world will only grow. We must always bear in mind that the expansion of freedom, democracy, and prosperity not only makes our world more just, but also more secure. We must always be willing to stand up for people who share our values because it is right and because we have an interest in shaping conditions in the world that allow our citizens to live in peace and freedom at home. So, I'd like to recognize the great achievements of Jan Karski and congratulate the Foundation as it celebrates his enduring legacy here in America, Poland, and around the world. Thank you for bestowing your highest honor on me. May your work continue to flourish in the coming years. Thank you, and God bless.